So,
Woo! What's up, everybody? Welcome back to the Boardman Gets Paid podcast. I'm your host, Andre Lindo, and we got the regular Shells in the building.
what's up, man?
My man, he just celebrated his 94th birthday on Saturday.
Yeah.
It was amazing. Unfortunately, I couldn't be there, but I saw the food, and he must have food for days because that was some good food.
Well, actually, it's all done, man. It's all over. Shout out to
Already?
Herb Dish. You already know.
Yeah, Curb Dish. That's Devon's
It's restaurant.
restaurant out there in Barrie. If you guys are in the Barrie area, go check them
Guys
out.
are up north. Go check them out, man.
Yeah, like far north, as you guys.
Okay, it's not
call
that. You cannot say anything about being far.
Yeah, I know,
You cannot.
bro. So I was down there in your area the day before,
Yeah.
and I'm like, yo, I think we should just stay. We had to stay in a hotel because it was so far.
Wow.
And I'm like, man, maybe we should stay one more day so we got a thing. And I'm like, no, the drive is crazy, bro.
Right.
Like we were like looking at our friend's house and like, oh yeah, he's 30 minutes from my friend's house, and my friend was like 2.5 hours from me. I was like,
That's
no.
ridiculous. That's ridiculous, bro.
Anyways, the Raptors, our beloved Raptors, have finished their season.
Yes, a rebuild season. Let's put that
a rebuild or development season, as Messiah's called it.
Yep.
We got PowerPoints. We got some animations. We're gonna actually play a game, I think, as
Okay.
well. If I can find it. But everyone, thank you for watching. I know the play-in tournament is on. If you want to check out my predictions, I added them to TikTok. So follow me at Lindo Cafe on TikTok. Who do you predict? I already predicted the Magic were gonna win. I kind of wanted Atlanta to win today because the
playing god Trey Young was out there acting bad, but he's got no help, man. No help.
Yeah, no help. But you know who plays Boston the best? Atlanta.
Atlanta, yeah. They've always had.
They've always had
Dominique days, they've always played them well, but.
So I would have loved to see Boston lose to Atlanta. Yo, that would have been so fun.
Young, I'm demanding a trade after this season. I've done my best to try to get you guys to as far as I can.
Mm-hmm.
And you don't bring me no help. And then you get rid of one of my best players for Karis LeVert. Anyways, that's what I'm talking.
We're talking Raptors. So the Raptors finished the season. I'm gonna throw in my beautiful PowerPoint that I created. The Raptors, they are finished 11th in the East with 30 wins, 52 losses.
Yes.
And the 7th best odds to land a first round pick.
Yep.
I'm not sure how we should talk about this. Starting off, I had predicted the Raptors would win 25 games. What was your prediction? Do you remember?
I didn't have one because the way the team was so up and down injury wise at the beginning of the year, it was hard to gauge it, right? I mean, at the beginning of the year, I was really anticipating a play-in type of year, but then when Masai came out with that pressure, I was like, okay, I know what's going on. I see what's happening, and with the injuries to quickly start the year. It was. I wasn't I didn't have any predictions. I was just pretty much wanted to see how far we would go with the tank or the rebuild, quote unquote. And I think we've hit a middle ground. Not to say it's the best thing, but it is what it is. It is what it is.
Interesting you say that, because I saw on TikTok from our beloved Aaron Rose. Never mind, not beloved. Like Aaron Rose says, the tank is over. The rebuild is over. We've rebuilt the team. Do you find that this rebuild is done?
You know what? I'll be honest with you. I somewhat agree, and I'm gonna say why. Because usually with a rebuild, you kind of strip the team of its identity. You strip it of everything. And you become, something else. You rebuild, literally, something else. I don't think the Raptors have done that. The Raptors have found some real gems in these undrafted two-way players, in Jameson Battle and these guys, and it really looks like a promising team come next year if healthy. If healthy, and you add a top 7 or hopefully a top 5, top 4 pick to your team, um, and also with the addition of Brandon Ingram, I think the Raptors are no longer they can't win 30 games next year, or
Mhm.
that would be a humongous failure.
Well,
Um,
we'll have to see about that. So
I don't think it's gonna be one of those. I'm not saying they're gonna be contenders,
yeah,
but I don't think it'll look like what it looked like this year. All things considered, in terms of injuries and additions and such to the team. So we'll see. Let's see.
yeah. Do you feel that the season was a success?
It depends. What were you looking for? Like I
Let
think,
me actually let me answer this because
yeah,
this one I've been thinking about. I
right.
think this year, if we were going to give it a grade, I would give it a C plus. I think the
Interesting.
season actually was a success. To the
But
only thing,
hold
yeah,
on. But that's
yeah.
contradicting. You say it's a C
Oh,
plus,
hold
but
on.
it's a success.
Well, C is passing.
Hey man,
It's a
that's
passing grade.
you can't.
So the
We're
reason why,
Caribbean.
okay,
C's are not looked at.
reason why I'm saying it was success is
Okay.
it's a success because 50% is that they didn't lose the amount of games that they were supposed to lose in order to.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah,
But we built a new culture. One,
yes, yep,
two, we successfully trained and developed 4 rookies.
yes,
Right.
yes. Which is extremely hard
Third,
and
third,
unheard of.
yeah, and that's unheard of because everyone was telling me that could not happen,
You're right,
and we did it.
and we did it. Yeah.
And then there was a secret fifth rookie that makes me upset because and he's now with the OKC Thunder,
Let's
scoring
let's not
26
do that.
points, 12 rebounds, and
Not
how
do
many
that.
blocks? Come
Come on.
on, bro.
Let's
No,
not.
no. What? Okay, sorry. Let me
Raptors.
Raptors. But reason why another thing too is that this is what we saw, and then I have to say success because they got that scorer that they needed, Brandon Ingram.
Yeah, yeah,
So in my mind, it feels like they took a step forward a little too quick. But my
yeah.
wife always tells me with the inner Jamaican accent, shortcut, draw blood. Okay,
That's
and
true.
I feel in my mind, even though it was a good pickup, it's smart to get a player of Bi's caliber
Absolutely,
in right away. I still
absolutely.
feel it was like a little too soon in the process because I feel like if we had really dropped down in the
Standing.
to third, fourth kind
Yeah.
of draft pick, if we could have had a Cooper Flag, that would have been the BI.
Well,
You know,
I think they were trying to kill two birds with one stone, for lack of
mm-hmm.
better term, because according to Brian Windhorst, Brandon Ingram has the worst ankle sprain of history, and there's no way that he was out for the entire rest of the season for a
Yeah,
sprain, right? But
yeah.
I think that was very strategic by the Raptors. You signed
Mm-hmm.
Ingram, you trade for him, and you sign him, knowing that you're going to have him for the long term, which was a great move.
Mm-hmm.
I think it's going to be one of those overlooked moves because he's coming off a pretty tough year in New Orleans, which that whole situation, just got to throw that garbage. But
Mm-hmm.
he's such a talented offensive player, and you add that to a team with a lot of offensive weapons and a culture that you mentioned, right? And the
Mm-hmm.
team that was looking for a guy you can give the ball to and make a or get a basket. So
Yeah,
at the
I
same
do.
time,
I do
you
have
like,
some questions. There's going to be lots of questions, but
of
at
course,
least on paper, I
yeah,
feel it's you giving them like you can't give them a D on this season. This was supposed to be a development season.
yeah,
Players developed. Players
yeah,
like
yeah,
even Ochai and Grady, they
yes,
developed.
yeah, yeah,
Um,
yeah.
the emergence of Jakob Pertl, as much as I don't like his player style, he's still
Showed his value.
14, you know, and then Scotty as well, did develop too. So it's like everything that they said they were going to do, minus tanking worse,
Yeah.
they did. And so you
Well,
can't say
yeah.
it was like a D or an F, right?
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
So,
I got you.
yeah.
I got you. I think for the most part, and we have to look at Masai's track record, even going back
Mhm.
to Denver when he was, first given the reins of a team.
Mhm.
He doesn't like to necessarily strip teams down to nothing. If he's gonna tank or quote unquote rebuild, he's gonna do it with a competitive team, right?
Mhm.
And this is the problem that we had this year with the Raptors because we didn't want to have a competitive team. We wanted
Yeah.
to lose as much as possible. But it's hard when you have Scotty Barnes on your team and you got these guys who are, you know, not trying to lose.
Mhm.
And I know these guys understand the assignment in terms of what's coming in terms of the draft prospects. But these guys are also hardwired to like
Mhm.
give their all. Like Scotty went for 38 in the last game, which meant absolutely nothing. But it just shows you he was picking up full court, right? So the culture and the mindset is already ingrained in them to say, hey, I don't care about tanking for a player. We're trying to win. We're wired this way, but at the same time,
Mhm.
management has to look at them and say, "Hey, guys, we have a plan that we're trying to put in place."
Mhm.
And unfortunately, it was like 50-50, like you said.
Mhm. So what? So then, after hearing my thoughts, do you think the season was a success then?
Well, that's the thing because I think there's two perspectives here, right?
Mhm.
You have management and the executives trying to rebuild. So that in terms means you got to lose games to gain more talent. We're not the Lakers, we're not the Celtics. We can't just say, okay, we're gonna go pick this superstar, that superstar. We got to build to the draft. But then you got a coach who is, excellent at developing players, and all of a sudden you turn around and these young developing players are winning you games. So what do you really want out of it, right? Do you want
So
your
we're going to talk about that too. So
it's hard. It's hard to say if it's a success or not because it was kind of like two different ideologies in the same boat. Like
yeah,
like which way
we
are we
also
going?
we
Which way,
also need to factor in the rest of the NBA too. We're
yeah,
going to talk about that a little bit later about
which is
their
really bad.
run. Yeah.
It's really
Yeah.
bad.
Okay.
And all the teams that are not contending are
Mhm.
absolute trash. But go ahead.
Yeah. All right. Let's just kind of go over the stats a little bit. Just let me give it better. So Raptors offensive rating last year 24th in the league,
Yeah,
and now they're 25th in the league. Um, Offensive rating went from to 110 points a game, and last year they were at 112. So it's just interesting because this was supposed to be a better offensive team, yet we
yeah.
lost. It's like we didn't improve at all. So,
Well, again,
what
it
are your
goes
thoughts
back
on
to
that one?
injuries, right? Like injuries to Grady, injuries to Emmanuel quickly, injuries to like everyone had a
Mhm.
stretch where they were out at least 5, 6, 7
Yeah,
or plus games. So I mean,
it's so
yeah,
hard to kind of predict that
yeah,
because it's like
exactly,
they're strategically leaving some players out, making them,
right,
and then, then they're then there's them, right? So it's
right.
so difficult. How do we kind of decipher offensively, and then we're going to go into the defensive one as well next. Like, yeah, let's go into it now
It's
because
hard to gauge. It's hard to gauge
yeah,
the progress and the
mm,
the ratings because again, how many players do we put in uniform this year? Right, a
yeah,
lot of guys.
yeah.
So yeah, it's different.
So then there's the defensive rating, and this is where a lot of people are going to throw in like, hey, look at this. We
Yeah,
went from 26th last year to 17th.
yeah.
And this is where, and then the look at that 4 point differential,
Hmm.
uh, you know. But here's where I wanted to say this, right? The
Yeah,
Raptors had some of the worst losses in NBA in Raptors and NBA history,
yeah,
defensively, right?
yeah,
We had I think we had maybe two or three 40-point losses,
yeah.
and then I think we had a 53-point loss at one time. I don't remember if
And
that's how much Memphis killed us by.
I think those games they were shooting some historic numbers from beyond
Yeah,
the arc,
yeah,
where the Raptors could not defend the 3-point line.
yeah,
And I mean, the two threes more than two. That's they always say,
yeah.
right? So regardless if you feel like you have a plan or a strategic plan to play defense, it's a 3-point shooting league, and if you can't guard the three, these inflated numbers are going to look really bad in
Mhm.
your team history stats because now you got teams like Boston who are shooting what 7
53s a game.
right a game. Like it's ridiculous. You know what I
And
mean?
that's the thing. So then another thing too, right, is like, yes, we're 17th in the league,
Yeah.
but a lot. It was like once we after trade deadline,
Hmm.
that's when our defense got so good. But
Yeah.
you're wondering, hold on, what was our
Same
schedule
players.
like?
Yeah.
We
We had
played
one of
against
the toughest schedules to begin the
yeah,
season. Yeah.
and then we had the easiest schedule with
Right. Right.
along with teams that are actively tanking worse
Actively.
than of us.
And it's not even the active tanking, it was like the most egregious levels
Correct.
of tanking. Like you had teams like Brooklyn who were throwing players out there that even the announcers were like, okay, who is this guy?
Yeah.
We had to throw
Philly, bro. Philly. We
Philly.
beat
Oh
Philly
my,
4 times, I think, this year. I think we beat them 4 times this year.
who was at the beginning of the year a contender. They had
Yeah.
Joel Embiid, Tyrese Maxey, and Paul George, who, by the way, I hope never sees another max contract again because whoever
It's
gives him a
3 years left on that, yo.
has got to be, drunk out of their mind.
Yeah. Yeah.
It's the writings on the wall.
So that's why I'm this is a false equivalent. Like it's a false kind of hope that did we really improve the defense? Because before the
Right,
trade, it
right.
was 24th. It was like right there.
So again, like we always say in previous shows, what does your eyes tell you? What does the eye test
Does
tell
the
you?
eye test tell you? Yeah.
Right, and we
Then we
see
went on a
players.
damn run.
Yeah. We see players like Jamal Shed. We got rid of one of the best on-ball defenders in the league in Davion Mitchell because a guy like Jamal Shed stepped up
Yep.
and he proved that he can be almost a leading guard. I know you like to say he's our best point guard, and
Mm-hmm.
he had some stats where he was like fourth in the league for point guards in terms of assists. And I'm
Fourth in the league, off the bench,
off the
all
bench,
NBA,
all
all
NBA,
NBA.
not
Yeah.
rookies, not undrafted or whatever. Like it's like his stats were so impressive that it's like, how did he fall to us at that number, right? And how do
And
you?
that's why I think it's more like it's not only that he fell to us, the opportunity was there.
Yeah, absolutely, absolutely. And he snatched it. Even when Davion was here, like he proved that he belongs. He didn't come in and look timid or anything like that. He really attacked his position, and now he's pretty much solidified for next season.
Yeah.
So, I'm
So
happy.
then the next portion of the thing is the 3-point shooting. So because of the way the NBA is changing, and this is why I put the stat on its own,
Yeah, I put
is
an
that
asterisk beside this.
what are we trying to do? Are we trying to keep up with the NBA, or are we trying to do our own thing?
I think. Oh, that's
One
good.
one more thing I want to say.
Yeah, go ahead.
We were 29th in the league
Mm-hmm.
in 3 points attempted and 3 points and 3 point
Made.
and made, right?
Yep.
But guess who's last? Orlando. Orlando. And
Really?
they don't shoot threes. They're
You
bad
see,
3-point shooting.
this is an interesting point
Okay,
because
continue. Yeah.
or,
Now
or,
that you hear that, what do
Orlando,
you think?
Orlando does not have a traditional center, nor do they play that style of basketball where it's like bully ball. They really like to me. Okay, their best player, Paolo,
Mm-hmm.
mid range, bully ball, Carmelo Anthony type player, minus the 3-point shot. They have KCP, who's one of the best 3-point shooters, who had a terrible 3-point shooting year.
Mm-hmm.
Right? They lost Suggs. They lost the other point guard there. So and they lost Franz.
Mm-hmm.
Both Wagners who can shoot.
Well, they're
So
back now. Franz is back.
right,
Paulo's back. Suggs
but
is still out. Yeah.
that makes sense why they would be the last in the league. But again, back to the Raptors. Um, our best players or our best scorers, who at times RJ and Scotty,
Mm-hmm.
are both players who play, 15 feet in. RJ does not want to shoot the ball. He wants to grab the ball and head first down
Mm-hmm.
and get to the rim, right, with his left hand. So you put a player like Brandon Ingram in, who's another mid-range assassin, right? The only real 3-point shooters on the team, but like we always say, is Grady and Battle.
So this is where we're gonna have to go into when we start thinking of the starting lineup because
Yeah,
bro,
yeah,
you think about like you just named 3 players that are inside like
yep,
mid-range shooters.
yep,
And same with Scotty. And
yep,
same with your Jakob.
yep.
So are we like what are we like is this the like if you think about the team's makeup, like Battle
Yeah,
fits
yeah,
in so well,
yeah.
right? But where do we play them, and do we need to go and get another shooter,
So
right?
what I like what the Raptors did the last half of the season, or even like towards the end, really,
Mhm.
is that you saw more of a focus to get guys like Battle shots, right?
Yes,
And the other bench players like who's a hometown kid? His name is slipping me.
AJ Lawson.
AJ Lawson and these guys, right? Like
And Roden, Jared Roden, he's good
Roden,
too.
they're
Yeah.
hunting the 3-point shot, which
Mhm.
is what you need to do to be successful, right?
Yeah.
Like we mentioned, a team like Boston, they hunt the 3-point shot. Golden State, they hunt the 3-point shot, right? Like they look for that play where there's pin downs and guys are popping to the 3-point line. So I think with the Raptors, the philosophy seemed like it changed offensively towards the later part of the year, where it's like, let's no longer focus on inside out and stuff like that. Let's really hunt for the 3-point shot. And once you have a full healthy team of Grady, quickly and these guys and Battle and all these guys, you're gonna have to mix and match this starting lineup
Mhm.
because my projected starting lineup
Hey,
has no
see,
3-point shooters. It has no 3-point shooters in there.
hey, you see what I'm
Outside-
talking about?
yeah,
Okay, now we're talking now, and
but
that's where I want to get to, man. That's
it's gonna be difficult. It's
yeah,
gonna be very difficult, man.
yeah,
But
yeah.
I think it's necessary. I think I remember the early part of the year when it was RJ and Grady. Like that was such a great 1-2 punch
Oh,
to like a good team. You
can
remember
you
that
hold on? Okay, just hold on. I was
time?
gonna get to. Oh my god! All right, let's okay. Next point. Let's
Okay.
get to the next point.
All right.
So here are other stats here:
Yeah.
29th in free throw shooting at
Yeah.
75%.
Yeah.
That's got to improve. Like you have to really.
100%. And we got to look at Mr. Left-handed taking the ball to the basket.
Yeah,
If you're gonna drive the ball every possession,
yeah.
you
You
got to
have
be a
to
good
get those
free
free
throw
threes.
shooter.
Yeah,
So RJ, we're looking at you.
yeah.
And he did say in his presser that he's gonna try. So we'll see.
Another thing that blocks. So defensively, because of our size,
Yeah, yeah.
4.2, 28th, those are two things that he's going to have to improve
With only
quite a
one
bit.
traditional center and he's not really athletic,
Yeah.
and our guards are not really defensive minded in terms
Yeah.
outside of Shed.
And their
I get
wings are
how that
not.
number is there, yeah. But the steals and make up for it in steals, right?
Yeah. You make up in steals.
Yeah,
Two positives. Assists,
that's it.
28.5. I
Yeah.
thought this would be higher, and I think it's just because our shooting.
Seventh is really high though.
Yeah.
Seventh out of the league, that's you're in the
It's
top
just the way
percentile.
the offense is run that they move the ball so much. I thought it would have
Yeah,
been higher, but that's
true.
fine. But
Yeah,
this one here, rebounding, I'm very, very, very proud of
yeah,
because it just
yeah.
seems like our team is getting off to the rebound. They know what they're
Yes.
doing. Yeah.
Well, the good thing about it are our guards really rebound the ball well
Yes.
because if you look at it a lot of times, the Raptors get out to a lot of fast breaks,
Mhm.
and that's because your guards can rebound and just grab the ball and go right.
Yeah.
Outside of Jakob, you have Scotty who can bring the ball. Everyone else can bring the ball up, right? So it's a good thing to have players like that, especially in going back to even old Raptors teams. You had guys like OG and Pascal who can grab rebounds and push the break. So having your forwards being able to rebound and move the ball like that, it's gonna help because now you take the pressure off of just your center. Like everyone's got to rebound, everyone's got to gang rebound and be able to push the break. So I
That's
think
true.
that's gonna be better, even with a guy like Ingram, who's what 6'10",
Yeah.
6'9",
6'10.
So
Yeah.
yeah, that
He
should
can
help.
do things that no Raptor can do. And
Absolutely.
I'm really excited to see what he does.
Oh yeah. Oh
Yeah.
yeah. I'm calling it right now. He's gonna have some game winners. I'm calling it right now. He's gonna have some ISO game winners. I'm telling you, man. I'm
We'll
telling you,
see.
clear the floor. If you
We'll
got
see.
Grady on
But
one
we
side,
have to. We have to. That's the game, right?
well, yeah,
That's how you have to win.
absolutely, absolutely. Let's see. Let's see.
All right. So obviously the most polarizing player on this team, Scotty
Scotty.
Barnes. Scotty Barnes, 19 points, 19.3 points per game, 7.7 rebounds per game, 5.8 assists per game. He played 65 games.
Yep.
A lot of injuries this year. A lot of
Yes.
injuries.
Nothing too
Which
serious, thank God. Nothing.
the hand still aggravating him, but
Yeah.
yeah.
Nothing
Um,
like detrimental, I'd say.
so do you feel is there a concern like if you look at when we compare last year
Oh, yeah.
and this year,
Yep.
that it doesn't seem that there was a leap. in that fourth year.
I disagree. I
Okay,
disagree.
sure.
I'm gonna,
Let's
I'm,
talk about that. Yeah,
I'm gonna say why because again, this okay. So Scotty Barnes is, from day one has never been that guy to say he's a Kobe or Tracy McGrady type, or these scorers where they come in the league, Carmelo, these guys, they come in the league and they're scoring 25 a night, you know,
Mhm.
18 for 26. Like, no, he's not that player. And he said it himself. He loves to pass the ball. He calls himself a point guard, right? I think the biggest thing we have to remember is that the reason why we get a guy like Brandon Ingram is to complement a Scotty Barnes, right?
Yeah,
To enhance his strengths. So I don't really like the whole narrative of him not taking a leap because the numbers don't look better. Like, it was a bad year for us, man. You have to
yeah,
remember that. It was a
yeah.
really bad year for us. And also he did have some games where he was like I call it the bag game where who was the reporter that said he didn't have a bag? It was one of those reporters.
Will Lou or something like that. I
I
don't
think it
know.
was Willow or it was Grange or one of them that said no, it was Matt
Lundberg.
Matt Bonner said
Oh, Matt Bonner.
said that Scotty doesn't have a bag, and he turns around the next game and had like 28 points.
Let's just really talk. Like, I think Matt Bonner, love him to death, great
Nah,
guy,
not
but
me.
man, I don't know if meat is for you, bro.
I
Like,
think I think he, and not to harp on him, but I think he's one of those guys because us Canadians, we love our hardworking players, and he's one of those guys who just took advantage of the fandom. But yeah, I don't see. When I listen to him talk basketball, I'm just like,
he doesn't prepare. That's the issue
no,
with me.
it's
He doesn't prepare. He always looks like he's like confused,
right. He's
or
not
he's
giving
like,
any takes that are like,
yeah,
oh yeah, I do. Like a normal fan would know the takes that he's saying.
yeah,
You know what I mean? I'm like, I get it. I know what you mean. Yeah,
yeah,
sure. What do you mean? You can't say Scotty doesn't have a back. What are you
yeah.
talking about? He's one of the most unique players in the NBA.
He's
One,
so
he's 6'10",
mm.
basically, can dribble. He can shoot now a little bit. Not the greatest, but he can shoot.
that midi game. Remember we talked about it.
Exactly. Exactly.
Whew,
That offensive game is coming around. And I saw your boy Pensnare
and here,
post
yeah,
a
basketball.
post a clip of Scotty, against San Antonio where he had this step turnaround shot,
Oh,
and his shot was so high
yeah,
that the defender couldn't even distract the shot or attempt to block it. And I'm like, you see, that's a part of his growth, right?
mhm,
He came into the league as just such a raw player, but so talented, physically gifted, and with his basketball IQ. And now you add an offensive game,
yeah.
bro. I think he's gotten better this year. I just
I think so too. I think
yeah,
too. We also got to remember it was a development year, but
yes,
this number here, this glaring number of 27% from three, that
yeah,
really hurts, man.
it does,
Because
it does.
I find like his best way of playing is inside. And then
Absolutely.
the coach told him to take as many threes as point as possible.
I was just gonna
And
mention
like,
that. Yeah,
what are we really doing here,
yeah. I
right?
think
And
that
I
was a
understand
mistake.
the reps, yeah.
That was a
But
huge mistake on their part. Like,
okay, I wouldn't say a mistake. I think it's an experiment, and we're
okay,
developing,
sure.
right?
But you have to acknowledge your,
Yes, that's the
experiment.
problem. Acknowledge when you're wrong.
Yeah, like like it was. And honestly, if you were someone who was looking at it from the outside, I would choose Scotty as the one to say, okay, I want you shooting more, because
Yeah,
that's not your most effective, um, um, you know, position on the floor. You're more effective 15 feet and in, right? Like, you're literally a power forward who can
mhm,
dribble and pass the ball. Why would I want you shooting 3-point shots unless you're hitting them at a high clip? Then I'll say, okay, shoot more. But he's never been that type of player.
mhm.
So
Yeah,
why are we experimenting with that? Let's keep that for summer league or so. I
yeah,
mean, training camp. But yeah, it's a lesson learned.
yeah. Another thing too, the free throws.
Got to
Um,
be better. Yeah,
and
got to be
yes,
better.
and I know it's a good thing you agree with me on that, because to be elite,
Yeah.
bro,
Hmm.
85 or higher. You
Yeah.
have, like, sorry, not 80. Well, around
In
80
the
or higher.
80s, yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, for
And
sure. I mean,
it's because you're gonna be having the ball in your hand a lot more. You have
yeah,
to hit those free throws.
yeah,
And that's just a little bit of focus, a little bit of practice, and I think you'll get there. I
yeah.
don't think there's any thing wrong with this mechanics
No,
or anything like that. So
not at
yeah.
all. I mean,
And
he's hit some amazing shots. Like, and again, we always talk about we can't just look at numbers. What did the eye test tell you?
yeah.
His jumper, the mechanics, the follow through, it
Mhm.
looks good. When he's on, he's on. You know
Okay,
what I mean?
so one thing I don't like about his mechanics when he's doing 3-point shots
Yeah, the
is
load.
that the load up.
Yeah, I know.
It
It's too
feels
like,
awkward to him.
yeah,
Yeah,
exactly. Like he's thinking about it.
yeah.
It,
And
it
I
almost
feel like
reminds
he
yeah.
should
Sorry, go ahead.
shoot just the way it's like when he's when he does a turnaround
Yeah,
in the key, the
it's fluid.
same
Yeah,
way
fluid,
he
yeah,
should be shooting threes.
yeah.
And I
I agree.
feel like those things you can work on. That's why I'm saying like
Hey
um
man, we saw Ochai. Literally, people were clowning him with that video.
I
Like,
was one of those people clowning him. I've been killed about it multiple times. Many people have tweeted, "Bro,
right?
what are you talking about?" And I'm just like, "Bro, it was elementary, bro.
Well,
What are
yeah.
you
Well,
saying?"
and this is the thing, right? And this is what I've always said about the NBA. Not to go on a tangent, but like
Yeah,
in the last like 15, 20 years, and you can talk even the older players like Matt Barnes and these guys on podcasts, they'll tell you a lot of these college players are not working on fundamentals, bro.
no,
They do not work on fundamentals of the game. Footwork, positioning, shot mechanics. They're not working on. So they come to the league. Yeah, you're 6'10". Yeah, you can jump out the gym.
Mhm.
But if I play good defense on you, right, you don't know what to do. You don't know how to box me out. You don't know how to
how do you
close
get
out.
through it? How do you put
Yeah, you don't
and
know how to
that's
attack
and
the weak foot. Like all these
Sheldon,
little things.
and part of the reason why I was like, when I said in my comment, I said, "Is this high
Yeah.
school?" It's
Right,
just like it
right.
felt like this guy is fourth year, bro. Fourth year coming into summer league shot
But
terrible.
you see, like this is why
Fourth year, bro, and you
these
gotta like, oh
organizations,
look at, but this is the discourse. Is people, oh
yeah,
look, you guys were wrong, bro.
no,
This
no,
guy
no,
came in
no.
the summer league and like fourth
Stumps
year.
it up. Yeah,
No
yeah, yeah.
fourth year player
Stumps it
plays
up.
in summer league and
You
gets
gotta stand out.
destroyed.
Yeah, you gotta stand out.
Oh my
Like you
god,
gotta be, you gotta be a superstar in summer league in your
please.
fourth year. You gotta look like Jordan in his prime in summer league. But again, these teams like they draft players and they don't teach them how to play basketball. They
Mhm,
just draft them because they look good.
mhm.
And what I mean by look good is yeah, you're 6'10", or you can jump out the gym or whatever, you score a lot of points. But anybody can stop anyone if you don't have your fundamentals. Kobe Bryant always said it. He said what made himself great was he worked on the fundamentals of the
Yep.
game. Jordan, the same thing, right? He
Every
said
great player I've
every
read
great
up on, they just
player, yeah,
fundamentals, and
fundamentals,
they constantly play it. Anyway, so
yeah,
let's get to the starting line. So we talked about Scotty.
yeah,
This is the rest of the starting lineup for this year,
yeah,
right? One big glaring thing that
yeah,
stands out to you, just not even you don't even have to scan the numbers, is the
yeah,
numbers of games played by all of them.
yeah. Yeah, it's a tough one, man. Tough
Mhm.
one. Tough one. See, I think this is street close year this
Yeah.
year. A lot of these guys, especially quickly, like
Mhm.
after signing that deal, I really wanted to see him as the point
Yeah,
guard, which is to me the most important position in
I
basketball
agree. Yeah.
because that's your start of your point of attack, right? And you didn't have your point guard out there, and you're relying on a rookie
Mhm.
and also on Davion Mitchell, who again is not a point guard.
No.
Shout out to him, but it was a struggle watching those two. It's to watch Jamal Shed try to figure it out, and
Mhm.
to watch Davion try to run the team. So
Oh, that
it,
was
it was it was it was
it was
really
good for the tank, but
yeah,
it was
good for the
bad.
10, but hard to watch, man.
Yeah.
Really hard to watch. So this is why, like, when sometimes you say, get rid of quickly. I need to see what he has in a bulk size before I can be like,
Yeah.
I'm done. But yeah, this is gonna be tough, man. This is gonna be tough.
Yeah.
You add a player like Ingram, who's a 23, 24 point per game scorer.
Mhm.
I don't know. Do you take out RJ? I would. Do you
We
move
will
Grady?
we will
I
get to
would,
that. But
but you know what I'm saying?
how do you move a 21 point per game player? He has improved both times playing with the Raptors.
Yeah,
He's the rebound alone and
yeah,
the assists. Like his numbers are really good, man.
yeah,
47% from the field, 21 points per game, 6.3 rebounds, 5.4. Like there's no other team players doing especially these other stats here. The
yeah.
issue with these, especially Grady and RJ, is defensive end, bro. and
Yeah.
then quickly as well. It's the
Yes.
defensive end.
Yeah. And then again, the old saying is, well, if your guys up front, can't defend, then you got to anchor in the back, But unfortunately, we don't have Dwight
Yeah,
Howard back there.
unfortunately.
You
Yeah.
can't just funnel the offense to your center to block shots. So it was really hard watching
Mhm.
the Raptors get destroyed, defensively. But I really do believe that they show flashes of it. I don't know if that was the other team just being trash
Mm,
or
I- hmm.
the effort because
It's hard to say because
yeah, it
so
is. It
these
is.
three players here, so Grady, RJ, and Pirtle. When main players were out, these two stepped up big. Like Pirtle
Yeah,
had a stretch where they thought he was the best player in the league when he
yeah,
averaged like 30 points a game in 1 week. And then RJ and Grady took turns hitting 30-point games, stuff like that in losses. There
yeah.
was a few games where RJ missed two game winners, the Denver game and some other games, and it was tough on him. But
Mhm.
these guys can score. They can play. And I feel like there's going to always be room on a team
Mhm.
for players like that. So it's hard to find, like, I don't know, maybe it is hard to find guys that can score like that at a consistent rate, but it is difficult. Like, I think the issue is the Pirtle issue is that we don't have size on this team.
Yeah, at
Once he's
all.
gone, it's no size.
Yeah, yeah, for sure. And
Mhm.
that's a tough thing. There's a lot of times when coaches will be like, it's hard to sub players in because there's such a big drop off.
Yeah.
I think I don't know. It's hard to say with this current group that we have.
Mhm.
With Brandon Ingram. I think the Raptors still need to tweak some moves. Me personally, I think we need another center. Or
Other
just
two centers, actually, to be
yeah,
honest.
exactly. It's like I
We
need a
still have
center
Shamshi, but like he's still a
still in
year and a half
development,
away.
and
Yeah,
he's 18, right? So
yeah.
it's hard to really lean on that. He does have show flashes, but he's obviously not ready yet. I just think that the defensive effort was not there in the early part of the year.
Mhm.
With guys like RJ and
Grady. Yeah.
Scotty as well.
Mhm.
The effort wasn't there, and then they were kind of getting shown up by Jamal Shed, who was a rookie. You
Yep.
know, picking up 94 feet, guys that are bigger than him, and he's stripping the ball, and he's showing effort,
Yeah.
and I think that's what was missing. A lot of guys were trying to get the ball and put the ball in the basket, but you're giving up 3, 4, 5, 7 point runs,
Yeah.
and you're over there struggling to get a basket.
Yeah.
You know?
Any other stats that kind of jump out at you over these four
Um, I would say the hmm, field goal percentage, man, for
Mhm. For
RJ.
quickly?
Oh, that's yeah. On the negative side, sure,
Yeah.
but on the positive side, for RJ, I mean, we cannot discredit this year that he's had
Correct.
in any shape or form because this is truly the RJ Barrett that the Knicks thought they were getting when they drafted him.
Yeah.
Right? We've unlocked this player, and like I said, I don't know if it's because of the bad teams or the just the way the team is set up, but I love this RJ. I don't want to get rid of him. It's
Thank
just finding a place for him on this team.
you.
Right?
Off the bench. That's 6 man, bro. Anyways, let's go to the next portion. Our rookies, man. Our rooks. Now, another interesting thing. Look at the games played.
Yeah,
Only one that's kind of sad is because Jacoby got injured early,
yeah,
but
yeah,
Mobile played 63 games, and Shed, leading the team, had 75 games
yeah,
played.
yeah.
Now
Was he injured this year at all, Jamal Shedd? I think some games
he
he
got
just
a
didn't
few. He
play.
had a few. I think it was more DMPs.
DNPs, right?
Yeah,
Yeah. I thought that. Yeah.
yeah,
Same thing with Mobile too. He had a stretch where he was in the
yeah.
lineup.
He was injured. Yeah,
Yeah. All right.
but anything to talk like? First of all, Battle is such a hidden gem that we found.
Listen,
So I'm so happy about getting him, especially that last game. If we can get even
jeez.
half of that production,
Who's our last 40% 3-point shooter? Was it Capono?
Capono.
Yeah, right.
Oh no,
That's
like on the no,
on the
wasn't
Raptors.
on the
40% from three. Maybe Matty
Matt
Ice,
Thomas.
Matt Thomas. I think he was 40% at one point, but he didn't have the volume of shots that
Yeah.
Matt was getting. But
Well, it's a different era now, right?
that's true. That's true.
Yeah. Um, Jacoby is okay. So first things first, I'm gonna say this.
Yeah.
I'm not discounting Mobo, but he
No.
kind of disappointed me in the stretch where people were out, and
Yeah.
it just felt like he was he wasn't taking an opportunity to show his skills into the last few games.
I got it. Yeah. 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 Yeah.
And
Yeah.
I feel like you have all these minutes and these opportunities. Why not use it? So that's the only thing
Yeah, I'll
I
give
would
you
say
that.
about Mobo.
Again, he's a rookie,
Yeah,
and he's the type of rookie that he's what they call a tweeter.
yeah,
He's not really a big, he's not really a guard, he's not really a wing player.
yeah,
He's like a, I hate to use the term, but he's like a Draymond Green, right?
yeah, yeah,
That type of player where he's gonna have to rely on his IQ a lot,
yeah.
right? Because if you match him up with bigger players, he's gonna struggle. You put him on smaller players, he might struggle. At the beginning
Yeah,
of the year, he was struggling to dunk the basketball.
yeah,
When he was at the rim, you know what I mean?
yeah,
And now towards the end, he was throwing everything down, which I love to see it. It's just that we need to see that consistency throughout the year. Because, like you said, when given the opportunity, I was expecting a lot more from him. But
yeah,
again, he's so raw as a player. He was still learning the game.
yeah.
He-
One thing and I think the last game kind of shows what I'm talking about.
yeah,
So
the
he was
triple-double.
about to get a triple double.
Yeah, yeah, yeah,
And they kept him out there for the third and fourth quarter. My man, like it was like he was afraid to touch the ball.
yeah, yeah, yeah.
And it's like it's more having the offensive work. Like you don't have to force anything,
No, no.
but you can put yourself into positions
Mhm.
to get an easy basket
Yeah,
or
yeah.
the man sat on the 3-point line shooting threes. And
But
that just made
is that
me
his
I
fault
gotta
or
say,
is that a scheme fault?
no,
Like,
no, when you're
what is it?
watching the flow of the game,
Okay,
he was
I
just
didn't see
he
this.
was wide open from three. Yeah,
Yeah,
okay.
yeah,
But why not pump
but,
fake
yeah,
and
yeah,
go
yeah.
to the basket?
I mean, he
Right?
has the handle, right?
He
Like
has the handle.
at the beginning of the year, I was a little nervous with his handle, but it's gotten better, right?
It's very sneaky, eh? It's
It
like
is very sneaky. Yeah.
and he just got it.
Also, the
Like, oh,
passes. He made
yeah,
some passes this year where I was like, oh, I didn't know
oh,
you had that.
yeah,
But again, he's that type of player where he's such a tweeter. You don't know what you're gonna
what?
get from him.
Yeah,
You
yeah.
know what I mean? But
He'll play. He'll do such a great play, one play,
yeah,
and the next play he's just like either
yeah,
completely disappeared from the court,
yeah.
or he's just like
I'll just chalk it up to being a rookie, man. I'm gonna
same,
chalk it up to being a
same.
rookie. Next year, I don't want to see a slump because I think a slump for him would be detrimental in
Yeah,
his development. The sophomore slump
yeah,
because he doesn't have one skill set that he can lean on outside of rebounding, which is a skill.
yeah.
An offensive skill. I don't see he doesn't have anything he can lean on. So
Mhm.
he needs to kind of have a linear progression where you see a jump from whether it's rebounding, whether it's free throws, whether it's getting to the whatever. Just you got to see more from him next year. You cannot
Yeah.
see any decline from Mobile at all
All right.
next
What are
year.
your thoughts on Jacoby? In my mind, I'm still.
Why Leonard?
Jeez, wait. First of all, you remember earlier in the year they're like,
Yeah.
he
Shea.
reminds me of Shea SGA. I'm like, fam, because a rookie, bro. Like, chill.
Oh
But
man.
I still don't know how to assess him. Like, where do you put
Yeah,
him?
yeah. You
What
know what? For
I don't
me,
know.
I don't see the clear path for him. I do see somebody that's going to surprise us, whether good or bad, in a few years. And I think what's good
Mm.
about him is his demeanor, which really
Yes.
impresses me. His demeanor never changes, and that's a good sign for a young player because now, whether you make a mistake or not, he's not like, oh my god, I missed the last 4 shots. Now I can't shoot anymore. No, he's gonna go out there and hustle, play defense.
Mm.
He's gonna run hard. He's gonna cut hard. He's gonna shoot the ball. You know, it's not gonna look good sometimes, but again,
Yeah.
he's a rookie. He's a one and done player. I think he's 19 or 20.
Yeah, it's 20. He's very young.
He's
Yeah.
young, so I mean,
Great
Hey,
body too, like the
oh yeah, yeah,
control. Yeah,
absolutely,
I like that.
absolutely.
I was hoping that he'd get a little bit bigger, just shoulder wise, because of
Pause.
the shoulder.
Sorry, yeah, I had to. Sorry, man.
I want him to be structurally sound, man.
Yeah,
Like
yeah, yeah,
I
yeah. No,
feel
I
like
got
you need,
you.
especially at that position, at that two guard or
He's
three
gonna
that he
need.
wants to play.
He's gonna need a summer of like locking in with an NBA player or like a vet and just really focus on your game. You remember those years of like
Yeah,
Chris Bosh when he was really skinny?
yeah.
He had
He
all the
went with
skill in the
Elijah
world.
one. Yeah,
Yeah, he had all the skill in the world, but just couldn't. Like when it came time to be physical, he
yeah,
couldn't. He couldn't do it, and he came back that one year and he was super bulky.
yeah,
And I'm not saying I want the exact. I'm just using the
yeah.
example. Like, you got to do something with your body because a lot of times he wants to make a move and his body just doesn't
Doesn't yeah.
go with him. You know?
Or it's like he wants to make the move and it's like a
Yeah.
half second late or something like
Right.
that.
Right. Right. And then he gets pushed off his spot, or
Who would you want him to like if he could train with any player, even
yeah,
if, who would you want him to train with? Like to even mimic his
A
game.
raptor, or just like anybody.
Anyone.
Oh man, that's a good question. That's a really good question. Who would I want Jacoby Walter to train with?
I'm gonna say it, but
Hey,
it's
go
so
ahead, because
cliche.
I'm drawing a blank.
I'm thinking D Wade, man, Dwayne Wade.
Does Dwayne Wade trade anyone? I haven't
I
seen
know.
that.
I mean, like, if he did, I would love to
Oh, okay, you mean
see.
like hypothetically?
Yeah,
Oh,
hypothetically, like if
okay,
he
okay,
could
okay.
just like
Yeah,
learn something from him, Dwayne
yeah,
Wade.
yeah,
Even I know Terrence Ross wasn't. He was a weird one for us as well, but he has very similar intangibles. Like
yeah.
I don't know.
Norman Powell too. Minus a
Or
shot.
Norman Powell, yes.
Yeah, I think Jacoby was a better shooter at this stage than
Mhm.
Norm. But look what Norm has turned into, right? Like,
Yeah.
and again, it goes back to demeanor, right? When we
Mhm.
first saw Norm, his rookie year, we went to the playoffs and he just went crazy,
Mhm.
right? And every year after
Playoff
that,
Norm.
he went up. Yeah, playoff Norm was born.
Yeah.
That's still in Indiana against Indiana. That's
Ooh.
where it's born.
Yeah.
And so like a player like Jacoby, I think he's gotta really lock in this year and find what his weaknesses are and just attack it, like
Mhm.
constantly attack it. He's got
Yeah.
the jump shot, he's got the body, he's
Mhm.
got the demeanor. I think he's got to attack, the weight room. He's got to attack, his handle. He's got to get stronger. All these things, man.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah, all these things.
All right. Question: how do you rate the coaching this year?
Oh, okay. So
Would
I
you
have
like me to go for? Okay, no, you go first on this
I,
one.
I, I could go first. I have two halves.
Yeah.
First half of the year
Mhm.
was I'm trying to impress uh, management, and I'm going to show them that I can coach, right? Not develop, that I can
Mhm.
coach. And I think he made a ton of mistakes. Although I was giving him grace, he was struggling bad at the beginning of the year. There were some horrible decisions made. One of them we mentioned was Scotty, with him saying, I want Scotty to shoot 10 threes. Then he said the same thing with Emmanuel quickly when he came back. And then it was, I'm playing Chris Boucher, then I'm not playing Chris Boucher.
Yeah.
Then it was the whole Davion Mitchell experiment when you had Jamal Shed right there. Although we didn't know what Jamal Shed was going to be yet,
Mhm.
you still should have given him a little bit more minutes there, because
Mhm.
watching Davion run the team was driving me nuts. It was absolutely nuts there. And but the second half of the year, like literally after All Star break or trade deadline or whatever it was, like I don't know if Masai went down and hit him with the come in my office, let me sprinkle some Watutu on your head. Like, forgive me, I'm being ignorant, but like I think he had to talk with Masai, and Masai said, "Look, man, I brought you here because I like what you did in Memphis with those players. You developed the young boys. I need to see some growth with my young players. We're tanking this year. Forget about the starters. Forget about the good players.
Mhm.
Start focusing on these young boys." And you
Yep.
can see it from that second half of the year. Jamal Shed, all these guys that we brought in from the G League and two-way players, Jacoby, Grady Dick before the injury. Like these guys were getting better and better and better
Mhm.
and I think if we had Grady this last half of the season, we would have won some more games.
Yeah.
And
And
you know,
Ochai, because Ochai,
yeah,
yeah,
no,
and that's
that's a credit to the coach because he really showed. I think his strength is development. The coaching part, I'm not there yet. I'm not there yet. But the development part of it, he has that down pat, and I think he should really focus on that until we become contenders, right? And while you're doing that, learn how to coach better. But I'm gonna
I don't know.
give him a
This,
sit, man.
people have said this to me because I've actually said, why don't we bring in a head coach with head coaching experience to help develop Darko? And he's like, people are saying, how the hell are we developing a team and a coach?
Right? Bro,
like,
only Masai. Only Masai.
So I'm just saying, like, there's some good veteran coaches out there that could just at least, especially help him with like game management, would be very helpful. And again, I'm not for firing Coach Darko now. I don't think there's a point because we're in a plan. So, and I'm going to say this out loud. As much as I'm not a fan of Darko, I still think he deserves to coach this team one more year to see what he can do. Yes. He has all the players in place. He's done his little whatever. He's developed players. Now he has a chance to show what he's got. Exactly. And I feel it's okay. We found out what his contract is the other day. We were so shocked. He got re-upped. We're like, what? Re-up on what? What was that?
Yeah. That re-up was crazy because it's like
2-year re-up.
You re-up in a tank. I mean, look at Chauncey Billups got a re-up in a tank, and they're worse, way worse than we are. Albeit they got the hometown kid who's playing amazing over there. Yeah. With Darko, I think again, he was trying to prove that he could be a coach in this league, a head coach.
Those coaches' challenges, man. Those are
it was a lot. It was a lot going on. I'm like, what are we doing here, bro?
But the development, and that's why I'm giving him his flowers. That development, Ochai, Grady.
Ochai, it's undeniable, bro.
Battle,
undeniable.
You cannot. There's
former
nothing.
Players on different teams praising him.
So there's this guy on Twitter that comes at me every time I bring up Darko's name. He comes at me hard. He's like, you don't know, and I'm.
Like in support of Darko?
Yeah, he just loves Darko, and I'm like, I'm sitting here saying, okay, yeah, we should keep Darko.
But you know what's
like,
funny?
Oh my god,
what's funny? It reminds me of like Dwayne Casey, right?
Yeah.
When Casey came in, it was pound the rock. It was, we got to build a culture here, and he did that by all means.
Yeah, he did.
But he was one of the worst in-game coaches of all time.
You know what? Sorry.
Let's not revisit that. But
the one thing I have to, bro, we're playing. Freaking, was it Washington?
Yeah. Well, we got swept.
And we're playing Washington, bro. And every game, please play James Johnson. Just play our small forward that can defend the three. And every single game,
he would not do it.
I'm not gonna.
But
funny? Casey, you crazy, bro?
You remember that game he dunked on Andre Drummond? That was a game where it's like he like came back, I think, like a game before.
Yeah.
So like he was sitting on the bench the whole time, and all of a sudden you put him in the game and he has like the greatest highlight of all time. And it's like, what are we doing?
Yeah, that's why when he was let go, and then he said things like he could have coached his team to. No, he could not. No, I'm sorry. He would never know what to do to adjust to Giannis. He would have been like, no, pound the rock. No, bro. I love Casey though. I love Casey.
I do too. I do as well.
I love him, bro.
I love him because you know what? He was a man of great character and somebody who he was really steadfast in building the right thing and doing things the right way.
Defensively.
He developed Pascal, Norm, DeMar, and Kyle, to be honest with you, right? Fred, like all these guys were developed.
I give Jerry Stackhouse the Fred and Pascal.
Oh yeah, because the G League, sure.
They won a championship.
I mean, at the same time, like that's
Dwayne Boucher too. Boucher,
yeah. That's Casey's coaching tree, right? So, like at some point, I think Darko's gonna have to prove that he can coach in-game adjustments and such. But for now, I think we got to focus on development.
Yeah,
if we're gonna build a contender, we got to get the players ready to play.
Which I still believe that we're not done developing. I think
No,
next
I
year
don't
is a
think so. I
development
don't
year.
think
Is
so. I just think we're going to be competitive, but competition doesn't guarantee victories.
yeah.
So yeah,
All
we'll
right,
see.
let's get into some of the starting lineups, right? So
Yeah.
now we're gonna look ahead to next year. Actually, before we look ahead to next year, before we do this, let's do let's get into the mock draft a bit because this is gonna be something that's gonna be very important. Let's uh let's do the simulation. Okay, let's do this. And damn, Raptors are in seventh.
No, you know what? You should have let me hit that button.
Oh man,
Wow,
yeah, that's true. Let's
wow.
hit it again. Let's see what
Just for
happens.
fun. Let's go. Fourth.
Hey,
Oh,
hey, hey! All right, let's go. Okay, we're good. Okay, let's
hey.
stay there.
Oh,
And you know what's an even better thing here? Yes, we
yeah.
get number one, but Philly loses their pick. That's
Yes.
good vibes right now. That's good
They
vibes.
deserve to lose a pick. How many number one picks have they had in the last? Not even number one picks. Top two, top three in the last 10 years. I think at least 5 or 6. That's what you
Exactly.
think about it. That's ridiculous.
Exactly.
They do not deserve anything in the top 10
Nope.
or even the lottery. Period. Like give Atlanta that spot. Man.
And then
Come on.
Houston gets a draft, bro. Houston, my God, anyways,
Can we trade Ahmed Thompson for?
they're not
Oh,
trading that guy. That
that
guy's
kid
a
is
superstar, bro.
that kid is an alien, bro. We see him
All
running the
both
ball.
Thompson. Oh my
Both of them,
God.
yeah.
Yeah.
Well, they went back to back for a reason, right?
Yeah.
So yeah, bro.
So, anyways, we got the lottery. We got the draft. We getting Cooper
Is he
Flag.
staying? Is he staying though? Is he
Who?
all right? Is he staying in
No, he's
college?
not.
Or what?
Oh, come on, you crazy? No.
He's making a lot of money there,
Number
bro.
one, he would. You know what? And I keep telling people this because they don't know.
Yeah.
He wouldn't be the number one pick next year.
Oh, I know. You got your
That
AJ the
AJ
Black.
guy,
Yeah. I
yo,
was
that
also
guy is
surprised with him.
beast.
I don't know who he's playing against, but he looks really good. He
He's a
looks
high
really
schooler
polished.
right now,
Yeah, he looks
and
really
he's gonna
polished.
play for BYU, which I don't understand.
Making $7 million a year. What are you talking about?
Things.
You don't understand, bro. That's all you need
Oh
to
yeah,
understand.
money. 7.1 million. Yeah.
Yeah, to
Sorry.
play college ball with the Mormons. Like, come on, man.
Yeah.
Of course, I'm
Oh
kidding.
my gosh.
Yeah, man.
But anyways, let's talk about this. Right now, we're ranked seventh. The idea is that Cayman Malach is gonna. So there's some issues coming up now that
Oh yes,
because the way
immigration.
Trump is doing things, right, they might
Shout out to
actually
the orange guy.
deport the kid. And
Yeah,
I think
that's
the one
crazy.
way that, yeah, that's madness. And I think
That's
the one way that he can get around that is probably filing for asylum in Canada. That's what I keep saying, but I'm not a smart.
you
I
know
don't know
what?
those things, right?
I think, and I'm hoping I'm right, and I think some Duke alumni, who are some big shots in America, because you know how it is. It's who you know,
Mhm.
and who you're connected to. I hope some Dukies might be in the White House or so. You know what I'm saying? Like something. Got to work this out because there's no way you're gonna ruin this young man's life
Mm.
because you have a retarded president. Sorry, excuse my language for saying retarded, but you have a ridiculous.
Yeah, a little lower than that, man. I'm sorry.
Yeah, yeah. You got a ridiculous president changing the rules every day. But hopefully somebody steps up for him.
Yeah,
He's got
but
a.
then again, if the Raptors draft him, I
He's safe.
think that might be safe as well.
Hey man, hey, listen. I trust Messiah over Trump any day.
Yeah.
Any
Yeah.
day.
We won't get political. We can talk
No,
about that
no,
later. But like, we're gonna talk about draft soon.
yeah.
But right now, I think seventh or eighth is actually the area that we're most
Let's hope
likely gonna get
pickoff
in.
balls bounce the right way. We can
Yep,
get up to like 3-4. I'm not.
as we saw.
I'm taking my mind off number one. I'm taking my mind off Cooper Flag.
Yeah, yeah,
I'm hoping we get like 3, 4, 5.
yeah.
Me personally, I really want Ace Bailey. I know you like Dylan Harper.
I like the Dylan Harp. My
I like,
one is
yeah,
Cooper. Second is Dylan Harper. Third, VJ Edgecombe.
DJ, yeah.
Yeah, that's the Dwayne Wade.
All I'm
But
saying
then we're
is,
gonna get another shooting guards in
I'm just saying, bro. You can't
yeah,
teach 6'10" that
yeah.
can shoot the
Yeah,
ball. Come
yeah, Ace
on,
Bailey's
man.
nice though. Yeah.
They say he's compared to T-Mac. T-Mac, bro.
Yes,
Come
yeah.
on. Whew.
Imagine. Oh, but then see, this is where, and our girl Nelly, she
Yeah.
was on the podcast
Shout out to
before.
Nelly, man. That was a great episode.
Oh yeah, she's smart, man.
Yeah,
She
yeah, great episode.
um, but she was saying, how is it that we went out and I know what people are going to say, but how do we go and get Ingram, right, and
Yeah,
put us into a position that say we do get like a top 3 pick?
yeah.
What are we doing? Are
Well,
we
well,
picking for
okay.
fit? Are we pick? And you should not pick for fit if you're at a 3rd pick,
You see,
right?
the
So
thing
now what are
is,
you doing now?
this is what I like about it, right?
Yeah.
And a lot of people like to say, "Oh well, why would you pick a player who's similar?" Blah blah blah. Listen, you want to have continuity. What I mean by that is when Ingram's contract is done, see the however he pans out, right? Whether he becomes a Raptor favorite or he doesn't pan out for whatever reason, you have somebody right there who's been developing. You don't want to put the pressure on an 18-year-old to say, "Hey,
Mhm.
here's the keys to an NBA franchise. Try to win a title in the next 10 years."
Yeah.
Like you want guys to develop, right? Like look at Carmelo Anthony, right? Great player, but if he went to Detroit, I'm telling you, he would
Yeah.
have been a different guy.
Pick for his talent, man.
Right? Absolutely.
I
Absolutely.
completely agree.
Absolutely.
All right, so this little exercise we're gonna do. This is what the starting lineup is projected to do
All
at the
right.
start of the season,
It's the
and
rebuild lineup.
now these are the players that are kind of
Yeah.
on the team now.
Yeah.
Chris Boucher is a question mark. We don't know if we're signing him back.
Well,
We
they
got
did
the
say
first,
they have interest, but you know what that means. It's just
yeah,
yeah.
yeah. Anyways, and then you have the 25th first pick and a
Yeah.
2nd round pick.
Yeah.
So I'm gonna show you what the starting lineup I think should be. Okay,
Okay.
and
Awesome.
you tell me what you think. Okay.
Yep. I know you're going already. You
All
don't have
right.
to, you don't have to
So
set it up. I know you're going already.
so
Oh Lord have mercy. Okay, I
okay.
didn't see that coming.
No, you didn't see this coming either.
Oh no. Who are we taking up? No, Andre. No, no, no. Wait a minute. This is the
Hey,
starting lineup you want?
hey,
Okay, 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 okay,
there we
okay.
go. Now, oops. Now you're wondering what the hell am I thinking? Okay.
You're thinking of
It really
bench.
depends. It really depends on who this first pick is. If this is a Cooper, if this is Ace Bailey, then it makes sense.
Exactly. Yeah, yeah, yeah. Sure.
But why am I starting Shed?
Defensive purposes.
Defensive purposes.
I know.
And the only issue with this again is there's no 3-point shooting in the starting line. But defensive purposes and Shed getting the ball to these specific players
Yeah.
to score.
So now this kind of goes against what you were talking about earlier about the
Right.
3-point shooting.
Yeah.
It's gonna take a huge dip.
Yeah. So
And
there's
but
that.
also it also depends on who we draft, right? If that
Mhm.
person's a 3-point shooter. But as
But
of
if he's
right now,
if it's common,
yeah,
this is out here.
yeah,
This,
yeah, yeah,
this
yeah,
is
yeah.
out. And then I would put
Brady,
Brady back in.
yeah,
Because now this is more balanced.
yeah, yeah, yeah.
So,
I see it.
and this is the other lineup I wanted to talk to you about. Okay. So I kind of think that this is not starting lineup. This is more of second unit lineup.
Okay,
Right. So
okay.
okay. Reason and out
Like a
Scotty
second
out.
over. Okay, yeah. Ochai.
There we
Oh,
go.
really?
Now, why this
Spacing?
spacing?
But I don't like Mobile and Perdo together. Only reason why is because Mobile hasn't shown me the
That he
outside
can
touch
shoot,
stuff. Yeah,
but
I
he
would.
can shoot better than Pirtle.
Yeah, but that's not saying much though.
So
Like
that's
you know
true.
what I mean? I would stagger that lineup and maybe put another wing in there, maybe a 4 out, 1 in type of offense.
Maybe like this.
Or even that, which kind of gives you smaller size. Your rebounding is going to take a hit, right?
Mhm.
It depends on who you're playing. I think we're at this point where we're talking
Oh,
X's and O's, right?
oh,
Uh,
hold on.
what happened?
There we go.
Oh, now you're trying to go crazy. They're trying to do the Golden
I
State.
think they should have these two playing on the court at all times together. Like not like
Times?
whenever they play, they should be playing together.
Okay, so you got quickly at the top, who's going to be your main point of attack. He's trying to get either a layup
Oh
or
yeah,
a three.
this one won't
Hold on,
work.
hold on, hold on. Leave there. Hold on, no, leave there. He's either trying to get a layup or a three. You got Grady who's out there to shoot. You got RJ who's out there to drive. You
Mhm.
got Battles out there to hit at either corner,
Yeah, actually,
right?
no,
So
no, no. You can't have quickly here, bro. You have to do this, bro.
I'm telling you, Ochai,
Oh yeah.
Ochai,
Oh, sorry.
yeah,
Why am I forgetting?
yeah,
This this is it. Now why and this is one of the things I was saying. These two already have synergy together.
yes,
So
yes.
why not play that in the second unit?
It's matchups, bro. It's X's and O's at this point. Like we're picking at straws at this point. You know what I mean?
Okay.
Like
What
it's
is your starting lineup? So let's hear that.
my starting lineup.
Yeah.
I'm gonna go Jakob.
Okay. Let's get Jakob in there.
Yes, get them out of there. Get everybody out there. Everybody.
Get everyone out.
5 for 5 sub. Let's go. Detroit Pistons. Five out, five
Like,
in.
hey, I like that way of playing.
Let's go. Scotty at the. No,
Or
I want
four.
Scotty at the three. No, let's Scotty at the three.
Okay, we'll
I
just
want,
call any wing or something like that. Yeah.
yeah, wait. I want Bi at the four.
Bi at the four, not on the
Yeah.
wing.
Yes. No, because there
Oh,
aren't many power forwards who are playing inside the paint who are playing bully ball. They're all shooting threes.
okay. So
Right?
my and this is where my confusion is going to be
Well, let
is
me
that
finish. Let me
they
finish.
okay yeah that's true.
Let me
Sorry.
finish. So I'm gonna go quickly at the top. Right.
Wait up quickly. I'm already threw him off the team. Where is he?
There is
Oh,
quickly.
God
Oh my god. It was at the top, right there.
damn.
Yeah.
There we go. Go to the top.
And I would put um uh let's go with the top pick.
Oh,
Yeah,
okay.
so the top pick. So now, this top pick, right? Let's assume it's a wing. Because if
Yeah.
it's not a wing, then it changes my entire starting lineup. You have a second. Look at the second unit now.
Yeah.
Your second unit is way more potent now, right? You got Green and RJ together,
Mhm.
right? You got Jacoby, you got Chomche, you got Mobile, you
Well,
got Bat.
Chomche is going to play G League, so
I'm just saying
yeah,
you have the bodies, right?
yeah.
Um, so now you can either keep either Ingram or Scotty on the floor at all times. And that's what you want. That's what you really want. You
So,
want one of these two
oh, so you want to stagger? I think you should stagger. I agree with that. The staggering
you know what
idea.
I mean?
Yeah.
But again, it depends on who we choose with this first pick. If it's a guard or a wing, you slot him in there. And guess what? He's gonna have a lesser time with defenses being giving him attention
So
because he
here,
can't leave Ingram, he can't leave Scotty, he can't leave quickly if he's playing his best. Right?
all right. Here's an issue, right?
Talk to me.
If we get a wing, I'm gonna bring this back up. Like, for instance, if we get into the mock draft, when you're talking about a wing, you're talking about like a Edgecombe, Johnson, even Knoppel, Fears. These guys are
Yeah,
small, man. That's
yeah.
another shooting guard. So now we
You
have
guys
three.
see why I want Ace Bailey? Bro, you have 4, 6, 10 players on the floor at the same time.
Yeah,
You know what I'm
and
saying?
that's why. Also,
Bro,
Ace beat. Oh my
you
god, how do you
understand?
defend
You
that?
understand? Do you understand what I'm saying?
So
Oh,
wouldn't so now like okay, let's just say this is an Ace Bailey
you
flag.
can have so many
What if you
different
took
lineups.
this? What if you took
Yeah,
this out
yeah,
and not saying starting lineup, just as a lineup,
yeah, yeah,
and
yeah.
put this in instead, and
All
take this
offense
out
all around. Offense.
and this, because
Bro,
now
come
he gets
on.
the ball.
That's what you call a death lineup. Because now, okay, we're outside of Jamal Shed's shooting,
Yeah,
his strength is in that pick and roll. He's played really good pick and roll this year. So if you put him and Bi in a pick and roll, you're not leaving Brandon Ingram to double Shed, and you're not
and you're
leaving
not leaving
Shed,
Scotty,
and you're not leaving Scotty. So you're leaving him on single coverage
where
on
Battle will
the
just hit it right
with.
here.
Do you see what I'm saying?
But that's if we get one of the tall players.
Well, that's what I want. That's why I want Ace Bailey
Ace
because
Bailey.
now you have so much that you can play with, right? You have so many different lineups you can mix and match. Like imagine even if you put Bi at the 5 and bring in RJ, right? Like, bro, you have so much options right now. Or Grady, whoever you want to slide in that spot.
Yeah.
Right now,
Another interesting lineup I was thinking.
yeah.
Um, this one people are not gonna like at all, but this. Um, oh, because Rap he has a good mojo with him.
Yeah, Joe. Scotty plays well with mobile for
He's
sure.
very well with him. Bi here
Oh, yeah. Oh,
like this.
you gotta get a
Um,
shooter in there. Yeah.
yep, right there.
Yeah.
Either battle or you know what we've been.
I mean,
Defensively this is good. You put
Ochai's
Grady in
there.
there.
Remember, Ochai is there for
Grady
defense as well, right?
and
Like,
Ochai.
yeah, that's a great lineup right there.
Yeah.
That is a great
So
lineup.
you play the small ball,
Yep.
small ball
You have
center.
mobile. Mobile's gonna be your
Mhm.
your Draymond, who's gonna be all over the floor setting screens.
And then you
You
run a
know,
freaking pick and roll with
oh my
Brandon
goodness.
Ingram and Barnes.
Who's leaving and who's guarding who?
Yeah,
Who's gonna switch off of who?
yeah.
Right? At this
Oh,
point,
the only thing I would say is like no, even mobile can ball handle. That's the only thing I would
right?
say is an issue
But
here.
okay, so now watch it, right?
Mhm.
You slide Grady and Ochai to the corners, right? You have a high pick and roll with Scotty and Bi, right? The only person that could cheat is Momo's man. And if Momo's man cheats, he's in a dunker spot
He's right there,
for a layup or a dunk.
right there, and he just comes out. He just pops out.
Because you're not leaving these guys. I think Ochai shot like 38 from one of the side of the corners. I can't remember.
40 something.
It was
Actually,
over 40, right?
yeah,
From I think the right side or something like that. And then
yeah.
obviously Grady, like, come on, bro. There's so many options next year. And
Mhm.
this is why I like what we have, because now we're not locked into just okay, we have to play one style of basketball.
Yeah,
Right. And
yeah.
I would love to have one more center, a traditional center to just kind of throw in the mix.
And that'd probably be that second round
Yeah,
pick,
of course.
anyways.
Yeah, for
Yeah.
sure. For sure. And there's a lot of 7-footers coming out this year too. So
Kind of. The one that I've been looking at is this guy named Rocco, but I feel like he's another. I, I still think he's the best big man in the
oh
draft.
yeah,
But
100%.
Derek Queen is nice too.
I haven't watched him properly.
He's a chunkier 6'10" player. I think he's not 6'10" though. That's the only issue. I think he might be
Oh, it's one of
6'8".
those. He's wearing
Yeah,
tops or something.
yeah.
Got it.
Another player I'm not really interested in is Yakachunas. I know he's
Listen,
6'6" guard.
listen to me. If I hear any name that sounds like a European name next
No,
to the
no, no. Okay, so I know what people are saying, but this guy Egor Denin, BYU, he is from
okay,
Russia. He is a
okay.
6'9" point guard. 6'9". You
We have
cannot
one of those already.
bro.
We have
You put Egor Denin on that friggin' lineup you just talked about, bro.
no.
There's
I
no
agree.
one
I agree. I just need to watch him.
just
I need
can't
to watch.
defend though. He can't
I
defend
need to
though.
watch.
But yeah. So
See, there you go. There you go. We're not trying to do that
he's
this
a
year.
rookie, man. He's a rookie. He's a rookie. But
The
yeah,
only
there's
the
this
only
guy
player,
named Rock.
to be honest with you, I know he's not coming out this year, but what's his name, man? Stojakovic's kid, man. You see him play?
Oh, he's nice. Yeah, he
Oh
can
my
shoot.
goodness. Now he can shoot. He can do everything.
Yeah.
On
This is the
offense.
kid I've been looking at, Rocco
Marco
Zakari.
Zalais.
Yeah, 7'3". You can't teach that, bro.
No, you can't. I mean, look at Zach Edey right now. People are saying gonna be a bust. Maybe he looks pretty good over there.
People is me. I said he was gonna be a bust. Okay.
No,
Another wrong
it was
thing
more than
Andre
you.
said.
It was more than you. It was more than you. But you know, you can't.
But this guy too is that someone I like too, Dink Pate.
We
I'm
already got a
surprised.
dick. We got a dick on the team already. We got a dick
I
on the team.
said Dink. That is
Oh,
Regin. It's a Dink.
we got a dick on the team already.
No, but he's 6'8", bro. Like this.
Small forward. And this is what I'm saying. I want the players who are
size?
tall and pause. I'm not saying that. You don't.
Bro, you need to go to bed. That's what's going on.
But no, you got me hyped now because you know this draft is important. And by the way, I don't know if you saw the interview with Bobby Webster. Saying
I
that
saw some clips. Yeah.
they're looking for two-way players,
Mhm.
right? Who are hard nosed, who are I can't remember the exact terms they use, but he's basically looking for defensive players who can develop their jump shot and all that type of stuff. So we'll
Yeah.
see, bro. We'll see where
Like
they
every other player, every other team in the
every
league.
other player. Yeah,
Come
no, but
on,
you
man.
know what? The Raptors have done a great job of drafting that type of player.
Yes. Yeah.
Outside of Grady Dick, I mean, most of our draft picks have been two-way players,
You
right?
couldn't give up. Like you couldn't pass on Grady
Oh,
Dick at that time.
he's the greatest shooter in college at one point.
Yeah.
Like, come on, and he's
Let the guy
proven
play.
more than a shooter. So,
This
yeah.
guy is intriguing me though. Trey Johnson,
What do
6'6".
Oh yes, I did
You
watch
know,
all those games.
yeah,
Yes,
so I want to see. I want to see what he really measures out to be, but I do want
yeah,
someone around that size if we're gonna get a wing. So,
yeah.
anyways, that's it with the Raptors kind of look.
Question for you, though.
Yeah, yeah.
Are you outside of being a regular fan of the Raptors? You know, your regular excitement. Are you excited for like this future, like this new core future that we're going with? Like, you know, we had different iterations of the Raptors over the years. You know, we had our Vince
I
Carter
think
years, Bosch years, DeMar Kyle years. Are you excited for this
no,
next wave of
not
Raptors
yet. I
basketball?
want to see what May 12th holds. That's when I'll get excited.
Gotcha,
That's when I will know. I
gotcha.
don't want to see what we saw this year anymore because
I think
they have the
I think
tools.
this is tainted you, bro. We've reached the mountaintop and we know what it takes. And before it was different. Like
It's
everyone,
not taint, but that's not a taint.
oh, not
That
taint.
means
Not,
we
but
we know what excellence is.
right. Thank you. That's what I was
Yeah,
trying to say.
yeah,
I think
I,
I think yeah. Go ahead.
yeah. I think like Shamshi. I like his play. I
Yeah,
like what their G League team is doing.
yeah,
Jared
yeah,
Roden is a
yeah,
nice player. AJ Lawson. So
yeah.
when you start thinking about those type of players and how they fit and making sure that they're pushing each other, yeah, I could see that. I just want. I think May 12th is going to tell me if I'm excited or not.
Yeah.
I've been excited about Jamal Shed. I've been excited about Mobile. I
Yep.
thought these guys were really good. Jameson Battle,
Yeah.
um, Jacoby. I feel he's generic in my mind. People say no,
We'll see. We'll see.
but I want to see what they do now. Let's see. You've got the players. You've
Yeah.
got the mix,
Yeah.
right? What can you do now?
What can you
Tell
do?
me.
Yeah, for sure. For sure. For
Yeah.
me, I'm at the stage where to me this is like the Rudy Gay trade. Not in the sense of, you know, you getting rid of anybody, but just that feeling of, you know, you don't know where we're going next.
Mhm.
You know, you have your DeMar and Kyle, you got your Scotty, you got your Ingram, you got your RJ. You know what I'm saying? You got your core that you guys
Mm.
are thinking of moving forward with. What is that next piece or next move that's gonna turn you in the right direction?
That's a
You
good
know,
comparison. The Rudy
yeah,
Gay, because then who's our Rudy Gay? In my mind, I think it's
RJ.
not our bro. I don't,
RJ, but
bro.
not
You
in that
can't
way though.
win without big wings, bro.
So
And I,
listen. I don't mean in the sense of he's a good player, but we can't win with him. I just mean like he's a swing piece. He is the
and
swing.
that's
Like,
why I don't agree. I think if they put him in a role as a six man, he would flourish. I
well,
mean, like okay, for
gotta
instance,
wait and
and
see.
this is what I wanted to kind of I forgot to talk about this
Yeah,
is
yeah,
that we had a stretch where RJ and Grady were the
yeah.
primary ball handlers
And we
on the
were
on the team,
competitive. Yeah,
and
against good teams.
I'm wondering if why can't we capture that same essence off the bench?
That's a good point. That's a good. That comes back to coaching.
Yeah, so then we balance out the team by
Yeah,
putting better defenders in the starting lineup and
yeah,
having them attack. And then when you're getting to the fourth quarter,
yeah.
it's whoever has the hot hand.
Do you remember that time when Norm Powell kind of took Terrence Ross's minutes a little bit? You remember
Oh
that
yeah,
argument? You remember
yeah,
when that was a thing?
yeah.
I think there's going to be a lot of that next year, where we're looking at guys like Grady Dick, you know, maybe Ocha. I don't know. Name the guys off the bench.
I think Ochai is maybe the odd man out. He's too small,
We'll see,
too
man.
small, man.
We'll see. I don't
And
know.
I think yeah, I agree with you, man. I think everyone is saying RJ. I don't agree because I think
I don't.
everyone's saying it because he's the same size as Ingram.
No,
He plays in the
I
mid
think you're
range,
mixing
and
me
it's
up. I
like
think you're mixing me
yeah.
up. So what I mean with RG, I don't mean in terms of get it because like I said earlier, I want to keep him. I just think that you got to find a. I don't think they found a role for him yet, because now you brought it again. You brought it Ingram, and it kind of throws the pot into you know, a
But
little.
what's wrong with the role of coming off the bench? What is
No,
what
there's
is
nothing
wrong
wrong
with
with it,
that?
but they haven't decided that yet. We haven't seen it yet because we haven't seen
Because
Twitter play.
people I've been talking to, they're just like, he's not going to accept that, or he's not going to do. And I'm like, bro, are you serious, bro? RJ off the bench as the main ball, all he has to think about is scoring. He doesn't have to defend, and you put two
But that's
friggin'
all he
defenders
wants to
with him.
do. Yeah, I agree with you, bro. I'm with you 100%. I'm just saying the Raptors have not defined that role yet for him, and I don't know if that's going to be in training camp. I don't know if that's going to be in the beginning of the season, mid season. I don't know, but they have to define a role for him because now you add another 20-point per game scorer, and everyone's looking at you, but you're also a 20-point per game scorer. They're not even looking at Grady because they're like Grady's an asset as a shooter. So now you're the odd man out essentially.
But like you keep saying that, but it's not even that, bro. Look at his stats. Like he was
I get it.
21 points, 6.3 rebounds, 5.4 assists.
I
Like
get it.
people are not doing that around the NBA, and you're gonna tell me to
Yes.
give that up? No, find a role for him.
No, but you see, you
coach.
keep saying give it up. I'm not talking about giving him up. I do
Okay,
not want to.
hold on.
I want
Let's
to know
think
if they're going to keep him in the starting lineup or not. That's my only question.
All right, but this is a question for people that have been saying, "Hey, we should give up RJ."
No. That's
What are we bringing in
crazy
to improve this team? Like what would you look at the team now?
Unless
what
it's
are we
Austin
bringing in?
and 5 draft picks.
Ooh, sorry, so who did you say?
Unless it's Austin Reeves and 5 draft picks, I will not give up RJ Barrett. He's a high. I will not give him up for anything. It can't be a one-on-one deal. It's got to be for 4 prospects and a comparable player. But again, listen to
people
what
are
I'm
not going to
saying.
see him like that, though.
Listen to what I'm saying, right?
Yeah.
I don't want to get him off the team. I want the Raptors to define a role because you bring in Ingram, who essentially plays your position, right? You're telling me now that what am I going to do? And also, you haven't signed him. You signed Quickly first, which is crazy to me personally because Quickly hasn't shown anything yet. I really believe they should have given him a role, whether it's off the bench, whether it's starting, but define it. Because this Ingram trade now, it draws for confusion.
Again, we come back to this Ingram trade that does not make it kind of hampers our head coach and everything because now you have to make decisions now, and then you pay the guy, right? You paid him
like a week later.
Bro, we paid him. We didn't even see the guy play yet.
So now, exactly. So now again, you paid him over RJ. You see what I'm saying?
But that's why people are saying he's the odd man out, and I don't agree.
I don't agree as well. But I don't know. We'll see, bro. We gotta wait and see. We can't. This debate can go on forever, but I really feel like the Raptors have to define a role for him.
We gotta define a role. Okay, well, the Raptor season is done. Onto the playoffs. For everyone else,
I'll be watching 2019 highlights to cope.
But I think we'll come back on a few podcasts to just talk about the draft. I think our boy his name Joey. He said he wants to talk about just like
let's bring Joey out, man.
Yeah, I talked to him on Twitter, and he's like, "Yeah, we want to talk about just the awards. Who do you have for like first team and second team, all that stuff? We're gonna talk about that, and then we'll end this. I guess the last podcast will be just after the draft. And then
Let's wait and see.
Anyways, guys, thank you for joining us on the Boardman Gets Paid podcast. I was your host, Andre Lindo. We got regular shells. Please check them out on Twitter, or X as they call it, and check out the No Service Podcast on Spotify or anywhere you get your podcasts. Anyways,
thank you.
Anything else you want to say, Shell?
Thank you to Raptors fans. Thank you to Raptor Nation. Thank you to the Raptors for providing not entertainment this year, but a lot of questions. It's been a long time since we questioned, what direction we're going, but I'm excited. I'm excited for the next year. I think we'll be competitive, and I think we'll be back to our standards very soon.
Hey, one last thing that I didn't mention. Next year is extremely important because our dear friend Masai contract.
So
and the
that's why
board
that
man gets paid.
is very important.
Very important, bro.
All right, we out of here. Peace.
All right, later.